Hello, everyone. Leigh and Pettus with Friends of Lawrence County Animals. Welcome to the Lawrence County Animal Hour. This is going to be an interesting little hour, because usually one of us has an agenda that we very loosely follow, but we have an agenda. And I think this is the first. It is. So, Ginger, we have Ginger Morgan, the director of Lawrence County Animal Services, here with us today with Sally.
So,
and would you like to tell us a little bit about Sally?
A little bit. I wish Sally would look at the camera and not show her behind. But anyway, she
is adorable.
She's a little over a year old. She's been at the shelter for maybe 2 months, not really that long. But she was
sweetheart.
She showed up in this gentleman's yard out in Leoma, right off of 43.
Okay.
And luckily he had a long driveway because she was, loose out there, and they loved her but couldn't keep her because they don't live here full time. It was like a family home that they come to, every couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So I got her, and she's just lovely.
She's lovely.
We took her to the United Church picnic on Sunday, and I was wondering how she would do. And she took right up with this gentleman that goes to the church, Andy, but unfortunately he couldn't adopt her. And so if you're listening, Andy, I'm giving you some guilt. But anyway, he really couldn't. He has an older dog. But she was so well behaved, wasn't she out there?
Young.
She was very well behaved.
I looked at her teeth. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
She's young, but not too young, because her demeanor, even though the tail is wagging, high energy, not really high energy.
No.
I mean, she's very well behaved.
She's very well behaved. I walked her several times at the park. She walks with a leash extremely well.
And she went down, didn't she go down to witness the baptism?
The baptism, she did. She went.
did.
Yes, she did.
I was wondering if she was going to jump in with them or not, but I didn't go down to baptized her too.
That's right. No, she didn't need it, because she is pure as the driven snow, aren't you, Sally?
So we think she has a lot of lab, right?
I think she's about 95%. She doesn't like it when other dogs walk by her kennel.
Oh.
But I thought she did really well at the park.
But my Lily Mae didn't like that either.
Right.
She and Sugar didn't get along at the shelter, but once
she got out of her kennel,
at home they're great.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, sometimes it's different. So we would, urge somebody who wanted to adopt her to ease them into your home if you do have another dog, and just see how that.
And isn't that with any dog?
Yes, exactly. But she's been a sweetheart.
And if you can adopt, she would love a foster.
Exactly.
She would love to just, get out of the shelter for a week or two and
or even just a weekend if you want to go for a hike. That's one of the things I did want to talk about, is the weather now is getting a little bit cooler.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Especially for the next week or so.
It is.
It might, get hot again. Hopefully not. But if you're looking for something to do on a Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, depending on what time you go to church, my church has an 8, 10, and 12, so I can just pick and choose. I can take the dogs to the park and then go to church, or go to church and then take the dogs to the park. But come out and check out one of our dogs, and take them to the park for a good day. Even if you just walk them a mile or two, they're going to be happy.
Absolutely.
It doesn't unfortunately or fortunately, it doesn't take much to make our dogs really happy.
During the parade that we had last week, and I know you're going to speak more about that in a little bit, but the walking path out there is a quarter of a mile. And so the dogs were walking a quarter of a mile with the volunteer and then going back into their kennel. But they absolutely, it was like they'd been out all day. They loved it. They were ready. That satisfied them. So just get them out for a little while.
That's just a great trail. It's a great walk. And you're right. It's really hard to do during the summer. But we're seeing a little difference, like you said, this week. And I think it's going to cool down. September has the humidity is lower. So this is always a good time to start thinking about it.
Right.
Coming out and walking dogs on your lunch hour, before work, after work,
And hey, if you want to start a walking program for yourself, the walking track out there would be great. And you could walk a dog while you're working on your own.
Or if you don't want the dog to, because I call them, and I was going to do a series of sniffing walks where we're taking the dogs for a walk, and then we just film them, because it's not necessarily taking them for a walk. They smell of everything on that quarter of a mile.
They do.
So if you want to get your steps in, or you have a pace that you want to walk, do that, and then just come and just save a little bit of energy and walk around one more time with these kids, and it just makes them so happy. We've got some that just come back just that quarter of a mile, and they've got the biggest smile on their face.
So really I didn't introduce Beth.
Oh.
Beth Keaton with Volca. Just thought I'd throw you in there, and I know you were.
Well, I appreciate that. Probably everybody listening says there's Beth again.
There's Beth. So before we go on, I really want to talk about our sponsors who have been great since our program began, and that's Hearing Services of Middle Tennessee, Story and Leigh, and Lawrenceburg Eye Care. Aren't they just wonderful? And animal lovers, big supporters of the community.
Yes.
So if you're ever in there, please thank them for it. They love to hear feedback. They're just wonderful organizations, and we're so grateful that they've stepped up.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because with them sponsoring this show, I can't even tell you how much exposure that we've gotten through the show. For the other things that the station puts on WLX, and all those
who is also our wonderful partner.
Exactly.
And we don't know what we would do without them.
We couldn't do this without WLX.
Absolutely.
But it's just made the biggest difference. Just social media wise, on our Facebook page, in the last 28 days, we've had 330-something thousand views on our page.
That's awesome.
And in August, the Clear the Shelter month, which we're still clearing the shelter, so it's still $20. But until I come up with another
campaign.
But we
fall out at the shelter.
Exactly. I want to say we adopted out 34 or 35 dogs in the month of August.
That's great.
Which is a record for us.
That is wonderful. Yes, it is. That is great. But, and we want to celebrate that, because the community, everybody has just really done their part and made one more place, a little bit more room for another animal, which is fabulous. But to put that into perspective, What has been your intake? I mean, it's just
Well,
incredible. Oh, you brought your report.
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
So in August, we adopted out, let's just say 35. It's give or take by one or two. But we took in 49 dogs
Okay. Yes.
in the month of August. And I mean, 44 in the month of August. And we took in 49 in the month of July. So that's just, it's incredible. So just year to date, January till
The end of August?
to the end of August,
Okay.
we have taken in 250 dogs with
Wow.
122 of those being puppies under 6 months.
Wow.
And we still have as many puppies as we have adopted out in the last week. We still have 26 puppies that are 4 months down to, I believe, six
Wow.
weeks.
Wow. That's
So-
incredible.
So if you're looking for a puppy, I got you one.
That's right.
Yeah,
And you've adopted a lot of puppies out.
And we have adopted out, let's look how many puppies we've adopted out this year. We've adopted out 40 puppies this year.
40 puppies.
I think she adopted 4 Sunday.
Yeah.
2 before the event and 2 at the event.
And 3.
3 at the event. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
because
5.
we did Camo and Hunter and Davy.
Okay.
And when you
right.
say adopted out, does that also mean transported or over to rescue some
No,
other
that's just
organization?
individual
people adopting.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So
gotcha.
on what we have transferred out this year. Okay, well, first off, let's do a drum roll. So how do we do?
All right.
I'm not a drummer. Anyway, so last year, just put this in perspective. Last year, we adopted out and transferred out a total of 109 dogs.
Okay, great.
So far this year, we have adopted out 130. And my goal, I've sold myself short and WLX and everybody's short when I was making my goal for this year at the end of last year. But my goal to move out of the shelter was 125 dogs total. So we've adopted out 130 and we have transferred out. I have to go through just let that drum roll in your heads, people, while I'm flipping paper. And we have transferred out 79.
That's great.
Wow.
So 130 and 79, was that 209?
209,
Is that-
yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
That is
So
great.
that's 100 more
Yes,
already
absolutely.
so far this year than we did last year. And we still have 4 months to go.
That is just incredible. And again, we are celebrating those numbers. But when you look at the intake, there's still,
Yeah.
you celebrate and then you move
Well, we
forward.
still see the need
Right.
here for
Right.
spay and neuter, definitely.
It's a huge need
because
for
when
spay and
when you're
neuter.
taking in that many animals, and that just X's out what you've
Right.
adopted out, it
Ginger,
hurts.
for anybody who's interested in a doggy, can you give out your number if you don't mind?
Yes. My number is. Is it the Delilah voice?
You can use Delilah, but please use the area code as well when you're using
Okay.
Delilah.
931 244 0265.
Again,
That's 931 244 0265.
that's
Or you can drive out to the shelter at 815 Gaither Avenue here in Lawrenceburg.
Yep. We are there for adoptions until 3:30
sweetheart.
every day. On Friday, as long as it stays still at light till 7 o'clock, we will be there on 7 o'clock for people who would like to pick out a dog and, play with it for a while, take it home with you, adopt it. Then you have the whole weekend to play with your dog. your new
And
dog.
Friday continues to be Black Dog Friday, right?
It is. Friday continues to be Black Dog Friday.
No adoption fee, correct?
0 adoption fees on Black Dog Fridays. And I saw a post where somebody said, why do we single out black dogs as being, free for adoption? And the reason is we have so many black dogs because they're the last ones people look at to adopt.
For some
and
strange reason. I don't know
why. Because for years and years, the black lab, no offense, Sally, was
no
like the
offense.
number one dog to be adopted was a black lab. But yet all those black lab mixes at the shelters, it's a no-go. I don't know what that is because we have some really
Well,
sweet
don't you think,
and
too,
funny.
trends, which you don't think
Definitely.
you don't think about things like that, but you mentioned the black lab, and then it's all about the black lab, and then I remember the chocolate lab, and it was all about the chocolate lab. And
Sally says
Sally said it's all about the yellow.
Exactly.
Sally says, "Why aren't you mentioning me?"
Why are you mentioning every other color?
But-
It's kind of like the Neapolitan ice cream group.
Well, the nice thing about so many of our shelter dogs is that they buck the trends. They are a little bit of everything.
They are.
It's kind of how the smart
We have our own design.
designer decorates their home, not trendy, so you'll never go out of style. You are authentic,
Exactly.
beautiful, one of a kind.
Yeah, I used to run marathons years ago. And it was so funny because people would say, your shoes do not have to match your home decor, So your dog does not have to match your couch. But if you have a black couch, we've got your black dog. If you
That's
have
right.
a light couch, tan couch, we've got your dog. You have a white cat, whatever your decor is, we have a dog.
You
to
have a
match
dog that matches it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if the black dog has a little white or a little brown, on Black Dog Friday, it's zero adoption
That
fee.
is
If the white dog has a little black,
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, the neat thing about this is, how long have we been running Black Dog Friday?
oh gosh, all summer almost.
Yeah.
And
all
do you think
summer.
it's going to continue? I mean, to the end of the year, maybe, or
well,
for the next?
the thing is we stay there later, but I don't know if we're going to stay once it gets dark at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll stay when it's dark until 6:30. It's going to be Black Dog Friday till 6:30.
So now's the time.
So now's the time to come out and
And the dog is spayed or neutered, or will be spayed and neutered.
Exactly.
All of their shots.
Yes.
Which is a lot of dollars. So that is quite
And a
deal.
microchip.
And a
it's
microchip. So what is savings there for someone?
So I was looking at another rescue group's Facebook page, and they broke down like what they charged and what it cost them. And I want to say their adoption fee was like $350, but still for everything that they did for the dog, it was more like $500.
Yeah.
Which there was something that we do that they didn't. Maybe it was the microchip. I don't remember. So we're still putting, and maybe it's different parts of the country things
Oh, yeah.
cost different. But we probably, by the time you get a dog and everything that we will have done to it, we probably got at least $250 just in the spay and the neuter, the microchip, the shot, the dewormers, and then that doesn't, we're not charging for how we love them because you would never be able to pay that. Nobody would ever be able to pay how much we love them. That's for sure.
So let's talk about the doggy parade. I missed it because something that we are going to talk about, our upcoming event this Saturday. So some of us have been busy getting ready for that, and then some of us have been at the doggy parade. So
Did she not make it sound like and some of us have been busy working on the event, and some of us have been doing nothing.
no, I kind of made it
that
sound
what
that
she
way. No, I didn't. Well, I didn't mean it that way because let me tell you. No, because it was great. There were a lot of people working, walking those dogs, Beth helped me out by getting what I think it was 8
10 volunteers out there that day.
Yes, 10 counting me, I think.
That is great.
Well, 11 counting Jaden.
That is great.
Jaden
That is
was
great.
there, man. That's Jaden. That's how we know. Oh, by the way, speaking of, Sally is kid tested, so she loves
Yeah.
3-year-olds. Or is he 3 now or
Not
almost?
hit 3, end of September.
At the end, 2.5-year-olds. She loves them.
He's still in the terrible twos.
Oh well, wait till he gets to the anyway. We'll just pass that.
The
right
terrific threes.
Yeah, the terrific 3s. So, but what I think Leanne really wanted to see is if I could actually talk for 3 hours straight.
Yes.
Now, we were not. It wasn't 3 hours totally straight. I'm not sure. I'd have to check with them.
Did she ever slow down? Because she didn't at the first doggy parade.
She went nonstop, I think. I mean, there were a couple of breaks.
Yeah,
maybe.
we took one break, and then a couple of times I just walked over and got a drink of water, and then just went right back at it. But I will tell you, my throat wasn't sore from talking, like I wasn't hoarse the next day, but my neck muscles.
To support that voice that was going nonstop.
I don't know, but I want to. Okay, so I think, what did I say, Beth? I think there were at least 78 dogs.
78, I think, is what you
great.
said.
Went through the parade, and it was just so nice to see them get out. And we've gotten so much.
So many comments of interest. People were interested.
Oh yeah, I got.
Now, I thought aren't people interested in Sally? I know there were some questions about her too when she was out playing with
I
Jaden.
answered all the questions that I saw. Some of them were on the WLX pages, and I did kind of go through that, and I answered some of those. But people did screenshots of some of them.
That's great.
Sending me stuff. So we got several dogs adopted from that, and I think. You can go back and see. I can't remember. I think they cut it down into like 4 different videos.
Okay.
And
That's
then
great.
I know there was one little segment of just Sally playing with Jaden.
That is great. Sally, you were the star of the doggy parade, girl.
Yeah, she was laying down with all 4 or sticking up, and Jaden scratching her stomach.
Yeah, she was
wonderful.
all about that.
Well, it was a great day. And the nice thing about it is you can use that as a reference. You can go back on the WLX page, and there the videos reside. So if you ever have a question about who's out there right now or within the next few weeks, you can take a look at those, and that would be a good guide.
And I know Charlotte is more than happy to talk to you, but you know, she's got a radio station to run, so just call Ginger
Right.
at 931.
That's right.
244-0265.
Right, and she can talk with you about any of the dogs on the video, or if you've got in your mind you're looking for something kind of specific.
And the videos are also shared on your Facebook page.
Yes, we shared all of those.
Yes,
And
yes.
then because Black Dog Friday, comes around every Friday.
Yes, it does.
There is a reel of, I think, pretty much just black dogs that she made. So you could, so you look at the WLX, you can look at our page as well, and go through and pick out your dog and let me know which one you want to go home with on Friday.
That sounds great. And again, you can do a trial adoption or just a foster to adopt, take home for the weekend.
We had a elderly gentleman that desperately wanted the right dog, and he tried out, I want to say, 5.
Okay.
And then he came back one day, and he had already brought the 5th one back. And I was like, what are you looking for? I said, what was wrong with, Sweetie? He says, nothing, except I just don't, if I have to take her to the vet, I can't, she's too big to get in my car. So, not that I could do this for everybody, but I said, well, if you have to take her to the vet, you've got my number. Call me, and I'll make sure she gets to the vet if I
Isn't
take
that
her.
wonderful? So he took her back home.
So he took her back home, and he's had her now for over a week. So
He's happy.
I don't think
He wanted the right
somebody
fit.
shouldn't have it.
Well, if you're older, you have considerations that you have to think about.
yeah.
Well, all of us do, regardless. But I'm older.
In 2019, I decided that if I was getting any more dogs, they were going to be 40 pounds or less. 40 pounds or less. I was sticking to it. I didn't need any more dogs in the first place. "2020 hit, and I was the stay-at-home dog mom, and so I was fostering for a rescue there in Memphis called Sunny Meadows. I fostered 7 4-week-old puppies from 4 weeks to almost 10. And then, well, I also volunteered for National Great Pyrenees Rescue, and I fostered 2
there you
Great
go.
Pyrenees. And
Weighed a little bit over 40 pounds, right?
yeah, I did get one of the first ones. Kelly came from the 7, and then Smiley came from National Great Pyrenees Rescue. And so, yeah, he weighs 95 pounds. So, yeah. And if, even now, if something happens to him and I can't get him to the vet, I'm glad that right now I live on a street where my nephew and my nephew-in-law live. So
they can help.
Somebody can help.
Well, that's so many times that's the case. I remember Jeff, my husband, saying, because usually we would always find our dogs. And he said, for the first time, we're able to adopt them. And I know exactly what I want. And I'm going because you have a big heart. And I have thought about this. I know exactly what we need. And so I said, okay, fine. And he came back with exactly the opposite of everything that he went over there to get, from sex, age, you name it. It was just completely different. I couldn't, I thought, okay, hello, pot. I mean, it was amazing. So many of us are like that, but there are so many who are like the gentleman that you were talking about that knows that it's very important to get a dog, a certain dog, because of your age or capabilities or whatever. And so you're so good, Ginger, and your team to help with that and find the right dog.
Yeah, he was absolutely in love with Sweetie, and and unfortunately we don't have small dogs.
Right.
We just don't,
We don't have Chihuahua small dog.
Right. The smallest dog we have is 25 to 30 pounds.
Oh, see, I think of that as a small dog.
And I do too. I think that is a small dog.
I do too. But, when you're thinking that, somebody might be 80 years old and they have to pick up the dog and put it in the back of their car to take it someplace, that's still heavy.
Right. It is.
And, and some people had small dogs and they have doggy doors that only fit small dogs.
Well, that's true.
But I think there's another thing. That's just somebody else has a small doggy door, and I think we're going to have to modify her doggy door.
Was that a reason why she was looking for a certain size, because of the doggy door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's looking for a certain size because it needs to fit through her doggy door.
Well, that makes sense.
And I think I'm going to figure out see if I can get somebody to modify her doggy door. She can get a bigger dog.
I bet we could find somebody to do that.
I bet I could.
I think that's a great idea. So
I'm into modifying people's homes for them, modernizing them.
So one of that should be a story. How the creative things that you can do to get dogs adopted. Yeah, you're going in. The shelter director goes in and modifies somebody's doggy door. That might be a new one.
I think you need a new sofa from Story and Leigh Furniture.
That is right.
Roy would love that, Ginger.
I love it.
I bet you I could, and I bet I could get some parts for that doggy door from Parks Lumber.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That is
Yeah.
right. So, speaking of Parks Lumber, they are one of our sponsors for the event that is coming up this weekend. That's one of the reasons why we don't have an agenda. I've been cleaning out the barn, and I'm telling you, the cobwebs on that thing, it is incredible. I mean, incredible.
If I was a spider, I'd want to live in your barn.
Well, I'm telling you.
You've really got a nice barn.
But I love spiders. So, you know how I am. If they're wolf spiders or whatever, we don't.
Yeah.
Because they're good spiders. They
Yes.
kill the poisonous spiders. But
Yes.
anyway, I killed a lot of them.
Oh no!
Oh, with the broom, not the good ones.
Not the good
But
ones.
yes. So we're cleaning up. It's going to be a great event. Saturday, an evening with friends at Sunshine Farm. So our entertainment this year, they're
It's
wonderful.
not going to be me.
It's not going. It is. She is a backup singer for Fame Studios.
Oh.
Beautiful singer, and she has partnered with someone who plays a guitar. He's in his own band. Wonderful musician. So they're going to be performing. We have a silent auction that has gone live. Beth, you want to talk a little bit about that, because I know you've been very. You haven't, but
Well,
you kind of know more about it than perhaps
I've been
involved.
involved by keeping Jaden while his mother works on
Right,
the online
right.
auction. She and Rosalind, the president of FOCA, they have really put in a lot of hard work. So it is online. Anyone, right now, it's live. Anyone, whether you're coming to the event or not, anyone can bid on these items. The auction will continue until 7:30 p.m. next Saturday night.
This coming Saturday.
It is this coming
It is
Saturday,
this coming
isn't it?
Saturday. Mhm.
I need to go. I've got things I've got to do.
I
But
know.
we have some wonderful items. We have the most wonderful county. They
We
are the
do.
most giving people. And I know a lot of people ask for things, and everybody's having a fundraiser of some sort. But we've just really had some wonderful donations of items. Plus, we've had some wonderful donations of cash, which is always good.
That's always good.
It's always good.
And the reason why is we are raising money for the intake and quarantine center for the shelter. Last year, this event raised over $27,000 for play yards for the shelter. This year, we are raising money for a new intake and quarantine center that we have named after Dr. Dan Jennings, and his family is also going to be present at the event, and we're so honored that they're going to be there.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit, Ginger, why this is so important, this center to the shelter.
Well, I hit on it earlier. We just didn't talk about the quarantine and intake building, but the puppies that come into the shelter really need to be isolated from the general population. And if they come in with their mother, they obviously need to stay with their mom until they're, 5 or 6 weeks old, and their mom say until they have teeth. So we need to keep those puppies separated from each other, because we don't know. At the first part of July, or the first part of August, I think it was, we got a puppy, a dog in with her, 7 puppies. And then the next day we got 5 puppies. And then about 2 weeks later, we got 10 puppies. We can't throw all the puppies together because we don't know what they've been exposed to.
Some of them may have parvo.
They could have parvo, they could have distemper.
Right.
They could have many things. And you can, for shelter medicine, you can vaccinate puppies. If the mother hasn't been vaccinated, you can vaccinate the puppies when they're born. But obviously when we get them and they're 4 or 5 weeks old, or 6 or 7 weeks old, they haven't been vaccinated, and so we don't know where they are. We need to keep them apart. And right now it's just kind of funny because we have puppy stuff everywhere.
There's puppies everywhere. And while you're doing the best you can, it's not the
ideal situation, because we still, I'll go and I'll run into Pickles puppies. Say that 20 times or 10 times together, and see
Pickles
how
puppies.
Pickled puppies is how it comes
Pickled
out to be.
puppies.
Pickled puppies. I can't tell you how many times I've said pickled puppies instead of Pickles puppies. But anyway, and so we have her puppies, and then I come into contact with other puppies, and then I'll go, I don't mean to, and I try not to touch
right
puppies.
Right.
But you're still, by them. And, I truly thank God that we haven't had any problems out there with any type of disease. Knock on wood, and all
Well,
those
as
things.
overcrowded as you are and as you have been all spring and summer,
Right.
we've been very fortunate
Yes.
not to have had disease. You're doing a wonderful job
Thank
with
you.
trying to quarantine the best that you can.
And it's the best that we can, it's like
Right
you said,
now.
it's the best that we can. And we try to get them, the puppies out and socialized and all that, all that stuff. There's a besides just cleaning and feeding the dogs that are out there and the puppies, we have a responsibility to keep them happy and to grow good puppies.
Right, right.
You can't just and some of the puppies, I'll say, we've adopted them out at 6 and 7 weeks, and I would typically keep them longer than that so that I could play with them more.
In her spare time.
Yes, in your spare time. Yes.
But, the way you play with a puppy really lays a foundation for adulthood. I play with their paws, and I squeeze, and I don't squeeze them, but I put pressure on them to separate their little toes so that we can clip their nails, but later it makes it easier for either the owner or the vet to do that.
Right, right.
And somebody who had Sally, they worked with her when she was a puppy because I saw Jaden pulling on her ears. I mean, he wasn't yanking her ear, but he was pulling on it like a 3-year-old or almost 3-year-old. And she didn't care.
Right.
And those are the things that I start out with the puppies as soon as I can possibly do is just
Get them acclimated for real life.
Exactly. Just touching and
Like a lot of different situations.
Well, and that's one of the things that you really like volunteers to be able to come and do
Exactly.
is socialize the puppies.
yes, so
Play with the puppies.
And the dogs.
yes.
Oh, definitely.
With the with the puppies, I was showing somebody the other day. I said, as you're playing with them, don't just play with them, but do these things. And there was somebody there. It was a younger teenager with a parent, and they were paying really close attention. And when the people who adopted Muffin and Happy the other day, I did the same thing with them. I said, so these are the things you need to do because you're getting them when they're so young. And not waiting, and then it's just going to be easier.
Is the pie ready? I'm hungry.
Sorry about that.
But that's the reason why the quarantine and intake area is so important to us, is that we can keep our dogs healthy because we don't know what they could come in with.
Right.
And we do the very best that we possibly can, but we are although we did those 35 adoptions in August, I said, what did I say? We took in 90 something. So we still have, we're still overcrowded, unfortunately, by a lot. So
we are sold out. The good news is our event is sold out. The KCs, we've ordered the steaks. They prepare these beautiful, delicious fillets. We even have homemade croutons for our salad. We have a salad committee, an iced tea committee. It's so much fun, and it's even better this year because last year it was the first time. So we were kind of...
Now, don't say we didn't know what we were doing.
We did know what we were doing, but we kind of didn't in some areas. And, the bad news is we think we know what we're doing. And some things may, I don't know, whatever. But it truly was a great event last year, and we're expecting that this Saturday is going to be the same. For those of you who are unable to make it, and if you would like to donate to our Intake and Quarantine Center, you can go online at our website, which is folca, FOLCATN.org, and there is a link
to donate.
Donate money to the center.
Yes.
That would be we would so appreciate that.
Or go to our Facebook. You can go to our Facebook page and find the link to the auction.
Right.
Look through all the auction items. I think the last I heard we had maybe 60 or over 60
You
auction
have a
items.
lot. You have a lot
there's
more
some
this
real-
year than you did last year.
There's some really unique things. So
Yes.
I looked through, and trust me, I'm going to go back and start bidding. Over 300 vintage Hot Wheels
Oh,
for,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
for a wonderful grandparent or even parent for their.
Jaden heard his mother speak about the Hot Wheels. For me?
For me,
he said.
yes, 300. I mean, that's a lot of Hot Wheels.
300 Hot Wheels.
I could see somebody needing a new hip from slipping and falling on a Hot Wheel.
We have some delicious baked goods. I think they're Sundrop cakes for life.
For life?
See, I told
Uh-oh.
you. I'm so tired.
Not for life, but maybe a year.
I know somebody's
Maybe a year.
sister's not going to
Sister
appreciate that.
Sister.
I think there are 6, right?
Sister,
There
right.
are 6.
Sorry. Yes. So what did we say? Sundrop cakes for a year.
Yes.
So there are 6 Sundrop cakes. Yes, that was different than for life.
Every 2 months.
I'll see if I can't talk her into upping it for life.
Ooh.
You know, we'll see how that goes.
I was trying to bribe somebody the other day with some cake, and I said, "Hey, my sister will bake you a carrot cake because that's what she's famous for is her carrot cake." And it's so funny that they just started laughing like, "You're not baking?" I'm like, "No, my sister."
Oh, my sister,
Her sister will.
What are some of the other items that come to
Well,
mind, Beth?
we have some jewelry. We have a beautiful bracelet from Massey Jewelry. We have Nashville Zoo tickets, and someone's bidding against me.
Oh, can you believe
Can
that?
you believe that?
No, I
hate it
can't.
when that happens.
When that happens. Oh, we've got Ray-Bans for men and women from Lawrenceburg Eye Care.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We've got gift cards.
And
Dog food from
New
Tractor
Moon Antiques
Supply.
donated several items.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm
it's
sorry,
just
who did?
New Moon.
New
Yeah, I
Moon
was gonna say.
Antiques.
And
Yes. Story and Lee's Yeti Cooler.
Oh, Yeti Cooler from Story and Leigh, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's
There's a lot of good
New Moon
things.
has adopted one of our dogs, Dot, or as I call her, Lottie Dot, and
Right.
Becky calls her Dottie. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And you loved her. Well, you love them all. She cries when they all leave. So,
well,
I'm a softie.
it's so great. The community has really stepped up, and they have donated so much to this.
I mean, we've had the businesses around the square, the Outlook, the company,
Paisley's.
Paisley's,
Paul and
Cloth
Prince,
paper and thread.
it's just
And the
wonderful.
list just goes on and on. I mean, Holland Drugs. I mean, there's just
yes.
lots of things. Lots of things.
It's so great.
It is. It is.
Everybody's excited about the shelter. They have from the very beginning, and it just continues to grow. It's good. So we're excited about this event. We think it's going to be good weather. Mm-hmm. We are fortunate that we have not only, we call him our rocket scientist, Barry Roberts, on our board, but he also follows the weather and gives us an update.
Even though we have WLX that's following the weather as well.
Yes, they
but-
do. They
Yeah,
do, both of them.
We've got it coming at us from both
Yes,
sides.
absolutely. Well, I think Barry watches WLX and then reports on them.
That's probably exactly what he does.
So it's all good. I'm glad it's cooler. Last year, believe it or not, even though it was really warm and we went through a drought, the evening was very nice.
It was
was,
very
yeah.
nice. Yes, the day before was really hot. And it's really odd because this year, that is the forecast. Friday is supposed to be like 90.
Really?
Yes. And then there's a cool front coming, and Saturday is supposed to cool down.
Wow.
Don't look at your phone.
I am. I'm going to
Every
look.
time I say that,
I'm obsessed with it.
Just
You know, she questions your knowledge
all
of.
the time.
Yesterday, she did it yesterday. She pulled out her phone. She found out that you were right.
Yeah,
It's a good thing I love her, I tell you. It's just a good thing I love her.
No, it's kind of like you might be sisters. Or
Well,
True.
well, the other one, if you recall, I was just checking to see if it was true, was the washing dishes out in the barn while lightning was happening outside.
Yes.
And I did not believe her. I thought that was a tale, a
what you
myth that is
thought
perpetuated.
Is that Beth was just being lazy and wanted to take a break
I think-
while the thunder and
So
lightning
I
was
looked
going.
it up, and yes, Beth was telling the truth that you're not supposed to be washing dishes
In the shower or washing
in the barn.
dishes when
Yeah, especially in the
lightning,
barn.
during lightning.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there
Probably
you go.
shouldn't have been in the barn because it has a metal roof,
Well,
right?
you
But,
know, we
at
live
some point,
dangerously.
We live dangerously.
That's right. We were all out there counting our dishes and silverware and getting.
Forks and knives.
Yeah, forks
I
and
can't
knives.
believe you had me counting the knives. I mean,
Somebody had to do it.
I know, but that's a risk.
It
right
was.
there.
It's all good. So it's going to be good. It's going to be this Saturday.
We've got about 200 people.
200 people, right? So
Yep.
we're thrilled. And thank you, community, for really coming together and help supporting this wonderful cause. Since we don't have an agenda, is there anything else that
I do have something.
I knew you did.
About heartworms. No.
We're not going to talk about the Christmas parade yet either.
No.
Oh, they didn't want me to talk about what my thoughts were for the Christmas parade yesterday because, well, they've got the event this weekend. It's
Yeah.
not like I can't count and talk. Anyway, so what I wanted to say was if you have been to the shelter in the past, it's different. It's just different. out there
Amen.
now.
Well,
It's today I walked in. I'm about to cry about it.
I know you
But
are.
today I walked in. I've been off. Well, I worked. Yeah, I was off yesterday. Off today. I walked in there to pick up Sally. The lobby's clean. The porch is clean. The door to the back is open. The hoses are put up. The dishes are washed. Thank you for the dishwasher. And of course, I didn't do the dishes today because I wasn't there. But whoever did, thanks you for that. And it's just different. The
It's
dogs
just
are
wonderful.
different. I walked in. They didn't bark. They didn't go crazy. I mean,
Everything is coming together.
everything is coming together. We have a
Yes.
great
Team.
The new employees are wonderful. Hopefully, you'll get to. If you look at the back at the parade, we introduced the employees at the parade, and I have to give it to the sheriff's department too. We have, I don't want anybody to be in jail, but we have the best 3 trustees, and I don't want them to get out.
That's horrible.
I know it's bad. There's one that's supposed to get out.
Maybe they'll
soon.
never hear this
Well, you know
segment.
what?
Yeah.
Because they're like family. They're part of your team.
Yeah.
They
And
are. It's
yes.
just
I know.
everything is new since we went over to the county and
Yes.
everything. So it's like we're one big happy family. They're the 3 trustees are always joking each other, playing jokes on each other, and it's just happy. It makes me happy to see people having
It's just
fun.
a great environment.
But-
Well,
Yeah.
I think
they
the good thing is
also-
the city, of course, owns the property in the
Right.
shelter building, and we're so fortunate that they partner with the county.
Yes.
And the city really took that on and did a incredible job for the first county shelter. But the county always, in any community, has more resources. And so the county has now stepped up and said, it's a county shelter, they're county dogs, we're
Well,
managing it. And you can really,
Right.
with
Well,
the additional resources have really made a difference.
Right, and the additional resources it's mainly the manpower.
Yes,
because,
yes, yes.
Where I'm not sure how all this works out, but where the county houses the trustees, therefore they don't pay them.
Right, right.
Right. So now we have 3 trustees that we are not having to pay. It doesn't come out of the budget that
budget.
is shared from the city and the county for the
Yes.
shelter.
Yes.
Where when we were with the city, we had to pay somebody, and we could really only afford on our budget 1 person.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying anything bad about that person, but with the additional people
Yes.
to help out, and occasionally we'll get an extra one on the weekend, but it's just made a world of difference. They've been able to repair some things out there that saved us money. It's great. We all get along.
Well, the whole campus is cleaner, neater. Everything looks so much better. And I'll say when I got there Sunday. I helped Sunday afternoon with the adoption event. You pull up and get out of the car, and the dogs out in the play yards, they're so happy. They're not barking at me. They're not like I'm not disturbing them.
Right.
Because they're able to be out and they're getting more attention.
And this is with a ton of dogs. I mean, we are
a ton
talking
of
more
dogs.
than ever.
A ton of
we've
dogs.
had
I mean, more than ever.
And, well, even when I went in the lobby, the dogs in the back aren't barking, and you know they're happy because they've been able. You've got more volunteers.
Right.
You've got people coming that are walking the dogs.
And they're used to seeing. So on any given day, there's at least 6 of us, and on a day where all 4 of the paid employees are there, there's going to be 7 of us with the 3 trustees. So the dogs are getting used to people milling about, and we are getting them out more.
Yeah,
A lot
just
of
great.
what
it's great.
yeah.
It is. It's great.
and it smells so much better.
Oh yes, it's definitely cleaner
That is
with the
wonderful.
extra resources.
That is wonderful. And
Yes.
then the intake and quarantine center is going to make a world of difference as well. So we have been on the right path, moving forward since its inception. You know, a few little stumbles along the way, but always moving forward. And it's so great that you're able to celebrate this milestone of more people.
Exactly.
Yes,
It's
and actually have a good-sized team, you know.
Right. And not to say we don't need volunteers, but here's something that you can help with. If you cannot come out to the shelter, you can't, you don't want to come out to the shelter, but by golly, you're on Facebook, you're on social media, share our post. Look for us at the Lawrence County Lawrenceburg Animal Shelter Facebook page, or go to WLX and share all the posts that they have done, because the more exposure that our dogs get, the more we're going to get them adopted.
That's a great idea.
You could be, well, I'll call it the Sunday morning volunteer or quarterback or whatever they call it.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think I'm using the wrong
Armchair,
thing.
you're an armchair quarterback or an
You're
armchair
you're an
general.
armchair volunteer. There
Or
you go.
volunteer.
I
You
went down-
can't,
I
you
was going
can't
down the wrong
volunteer
path
at the
with that.
shelter, but you can do your part.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Oh,
You know, at
absolutely.
home.
Social media, yes. Just doing the social media would be wonderful.
Yes.
And you know what? Save your newspapers and bring them to us.
That's
it's
great
like-
too, because you need those.
Right. So the Advocate has been donating newspapers to us, and because we have all those puppies, it just makes it so much easier and takes up so much less time.
So what
not
else
only-
do you actually need that, if somebody had something to donate, I mean, specifically?
We could use some of those big heavy duty Kongs, the big black ones for our big dogs. We have a ton of Benabones, but I like to put a little bit of peanut butter in them and freeze them. So I'm not the Benabones, but the
Kong.
the Kongs, and freeze them, and then that gives the dog something to do, because a lot of things now we're getting them out more, and we need to test their minds a little bit. Something like that. We still need wee pads for the puppies. We need treats, because now we have so many dogs and we're trying to give everybody a treat a day. We go through lots of treats.
Right,
And
right.
it could be the milk bones that are, the small ones, because everybody can, you get more in the box if you're getting small, and the dog doesn't really, it's a treat. They're just happy to get it. You have to give them the big milk bone.
But no, a treat's a treat.
But a
it
treat's
just
a
goes
treat,
a little
exactly.
quicker if it's a little
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
And you're
Well,
a big dog.
And we
So
don't have too many dogs that are overweight, but your dog can get real overweight fast if you're giving them the big treats.
I want to, we have roughly about a minute left. I do want to thank our sponsors again, WLX, of course, Story and Leigh, Hearing Services of Middle Tennessee, and Lawrenceburg Eye Care. Please, again, if you're in their offices or talk to them, please thank them, because they have made such a difference in getting great homes for our doggies and letting the community know what's going on at the shelter. So we've got a lot of work to do between now and the event. It's going to be a great time. Maybe next the next program, we might get your shelter team out here, Ginger, or some members, and so that everybody can get to know them.
Yeah.
I know that you introduced them at the doggy parade, but have a more in-depth conversation and get to know the team.
And if you missed out on getting a ticket to the event, An Evening with Friends, go to our Facebook page and look for our auction, our online auction. A lot of good things to bid on.
A lot of good things to bid on. Absolutely. All proceeds go to the intake and
All
quarantine.
proceeds, yeah.
Yeah, to the intake and quarantine center. So again, we have about 10 seconds left. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us. And I'm sorry we didn't have an agenda, but like I said, we had lots of good things to talk about. See you next week.